Didn't get y'all's time mixed up, did you, your days?
If not. All right, welcome everybody. Welcome to Collapsing with Casey. Blaise ought to be with us here in a minute, but in the meantime, since he's not, I do want to go ahead and open the show and welcome everybody. Let everybody give everybody a chance to get logged in and all that good stuff. And see that we are live. Unfortunately, our last conversation, the platform, an algorithm was tripped and was pulled the interview due to medical misinformation, and we didn't even talk about medical. So that was just some was a huge mistake on the platform's part. Ruined the whole thing. They pulled it, and they can never give me any more reason other than that. So pretty cheap, but Efil's here now, so I'm gonna bring him in, and it's really good to get this one going. Hey, Blaise, man, you're defying gravity again. You're sideways this time. It tells me the smoke is working, right?
It's still sideways?
Yeah, you're sideways.
Impossible.
Yeah, there you go. Whoa, now you're doing okay. That's good. Yeah, you did a complete 360 there. And I'm not even too drunk yet, so I'm already got spins. How's it going, man? How are you doing?
Yeah, just working and sleeping. I'm doing fine.
Yeah, good. It's good that you are able to do that.
Yeah,
I
mean
feel
that's
like that's all that
escape.
we have. Yes, yeah. Escape is really all we have, I think.
And it's
And
got a
yeah,
little colder here. Yeah. A little
really.
bit at night, yeah.
Wow, wow, that's good. That's got to be some relief.
Yeah, but I don't like too much cold. I don't like no cold outside. No. Stay in, heated, good.
Yes, yes. Yeah, man. As long as the power works,
Yep.
and you can fight off the outside elements with electricity and technology, right?
Yeah.
Um, Stay comfortable as long as you can.
Yeah, but it's like days are numbered.
Yeah, yeah. Fuck, it's crazy, isn't it? Like hard to keep up with all the shit that's going on, and
Yeah.
and all the different levels of collapse with economy and environment. It's it's horrifying. Huh?
Yeah, and the effects. Oh, just thinking about them, it's like, oh my God, this is a very bad disaster recipe. Really bad disaster recipe.
Yeah, yeah. It's the worst thing that any awful god or Mother Nature or even human could ever even try to come up with in their brain and try to make a story of. It's much even worse than I think what humanity can comprehend, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you can't even like me. I can't even comprehend, like put in words how much suffering was endured today. I can't even like give you, oh, this many people killed themselves, this many people had a heart attack, this many people went through this many animals went, this many insects went through, and it's like you can't even like the negatives are so many that I can't even like contemplate it. And this whole thing's been going on for 500 million years. The first ouch, the first pain that was experienced by sentience. and
Yeah.
it's going on since that. And you're like, I can't even imagine a day of it, yet alone millions of years of it. Oh,
Yeah. Yeah. It's so prolonged, overly
yeah.
prolonged.
Like
You know?
they say there's some goods. Like the goods are we can put them on our fingers, like penicillin, or some other again, the best goods are the ones that give you the relief, painkillers, vaccines, those
Yeah.
are like you can name them in your head. And what else, like Ferris wheel or uh, PlayStation. I mean, like
Yeah.
they're so trivial. In If I put that and I put next to it a child experiencing chemotherapy, you put those two experiences together, and you're like, no, no, this one's absolutely more valuable. Like, no, this shouldn't be imposed. And these pro-lifers are saying, they're putting the mixture together and saying to me, accept it,
Yeah.
accept this, accept this pie.
Yeah.
Like, one bad apple ruins the whole pie. It's that simple. You can have as many pure apples you want. Yeah, they're good, but just one bad will just fuck up the whole pie. And
Yep.
that's basically the dilemma with life, is just one negative, one sentient being imposed suffering. It's just one animal killing another animal. The game is right. You're like, oh, the game is foul. The game has some blood on it now.
Yep.
So it's
It
a
doesn't matter how big of a winner you are, your day is coming up to where you're
yeah,
going to be the loser, and you're going to be the one eaten or suffer a horrifying death, or and then all the bullshit that goes in between that you have to deal with just to get through every day to pay your bills and support this system that we were born into. That's just a
yeah.
right.
Like first we were gamed by a DNA molecule, by in our biological choices of, oh, I wanna go after food, I wanna go after sex. And then we were gamed by this society, this pro-life bullshit society of basically capitalism, right? You work, you you'll do it, you'll get a good job, and like all sorts of horseshit like that. You'll make a family, you'll be happy, and you're like, no, you're like, this is just like those the Instagram thingy. Like people will look at Instagram profile of people, and they're like, yo, look, they're living such a happy life. No, you look at behind the scenes, nobody's like it's a lot of work and a lot of bullshit that comes with the happy life, a lot of imposed suffering on the third world, where, in terms of resources that you'll consume, like your comfort, your privilege. It's a lot of bullshit that comes with it. It's not for free.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great point. I mean, and to add to that, in the chat, Rita is asking about because of course you're from Pakistan, even though you're studying in Hungary.
Yeah.
Um, Rita is asking about your family and everything. If all of your friends and family, how are they doing through the floods?
Doing fine. They weren't in the areas that were affected. And yeah, that's one of their, like, I asked them, oh, it's fucked up. Yeah, they just watch. They're like, yeah, really bad, blah blah blah. But are you studying? Are you doing this? Are you like, just just focus on the nepotistic nature of human beings. Of, is my son doing well? Is that like the difference between, this is logic and psychology difference basically. The difference between recognizing a child and my child. My
Yes.
child is subjective, mm, selfish crap, and a child is the logical recognition. Yeah, just because my child didn't have go was drowned in the flood doesn't mean that, oh, the world is okay now. No, it's the same thing. It's the same as your child. drowned in the flood. So
Yeah.
they're like, yeah, they're safe, blah blah blah, whatever. But they don't pay respect. Like they'll just move on. Floods happen,
Yeah.
yeah, because they've been happening there too. But this one was really hard. This one hit really hard, like the worst ever in the history of Pakistan. And yeah, okay, we'll God is watching. God will do something. Most people believe that over there. So what's the point in even like talking to them about it if their response is gonna be, yeah, God will. This is God testing us. I mean, you just gotta run away from those people who just bring up God. You're just like, I just gotta run away from these people.
Yeah, there's no good conversation. There's no information. There's no nothing. You know, nothing. There's no heart. There's no depth of anyone's soul when they go to the religion route. It's just pure bullshit. But yeah, I got to run away from that shit too, man. It's and it's everywhere. It's like you have the only way to run away from it is go hide behind a tree or in a
Yeah.
corner, or go to your room or like, don't leave the house, whatever. It's like, fuck, man, I don't even want to go to the store. And then I go to the store and there's half the shelves are empty. And it's like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. Here we are. And, knowing that is it going to be tomorrow that I come here and there's nothing. There's nothing to buy except for maybe a bag of sugar or, some gum.
Yeah.
It's just like, it's around the corner. It's coming,
Yeah, and
everybody.
I said to him, hey, this is all because of the what we've done and the climate change, and it's gonna our own sewage is coming back to eat us. Like I try to like explain to him in a very layman terms that hey, we're basically just waiting for the wreck, and nobody's in charge in the sense that no, like it's the people who know about it like don't give a shit, and just keep on living your lives, forget about it. So, and like these forces, they aren't going to be stopped, they're going to keep on coming. These floods, these tsunamis, all of this will just keep on happening, and it will get worse and worse and worse. And he's like, yeah, that is true, but you focus on your stuff. It's like their
Yeah.
their evasion is so fuck, it's not about me. It's like, can't you just guys think over yourself for 5 minutes? Just 5 minutes. Just put yourself out of the game for 5 minutes and look at the game for what it is without how you feel about it, without putting that into the factor, and just looking at it for what it is and seeing that, oh, this many people died because of this flood. Oh, that's a tragedy. It should be prevented. How can we prevent? Number one, don't have kids. Yeah, nobody's gonna talk about that. Like, and number two is like the peaceful death. Nobody wants to talk about that too. So it's like
Yeah.
what
As long as you're alive, you have to keep focusing on your future and your career and all the bullshit that because people don't want to, they can't
it's
accept the
deep
fact that
down
it's
they
over.
know. The parents know that, oh, we fucked our children. They deep down know, and they just once they're confronted with it, they just can't. Their ego comes in the way. The defense mechanism happens in their brain, and they just want to evade it. They just want to, hey, yeah, there is no future, Dad. What the fuck? Why are you saying to me that, oh, make a career? And I'm like, what career? Like, do you know that even like where I'm working, the same work that I'm doing is being done by the people who have degrees better than me. So it's so fucked up. The economic collapse is so fucked up. The inflation and shit. So what are you even talking about this career thing when statistically most careers are fucked? Like
Mhm.
it's well, no, but you just gotta be the one. You gotta be you got to win the scholarship or some other bullshit like that, as if that's gonna do something. Oh, they're
Yeah.
so myopic, so little. They're thinking that they're in a box, and they're like, their parents put them in a box, and they just can't come out of that box and just think think outside that box. And that box is so small, family, religion, Allah. That's it. That's it. Heaven, hell. That's it. That's their box. That's what they want to stay in. They don't care about any of the other stuff.
Yep. It's all out of sight, out of mind.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. It's just so fucking dumb. And it really pisses me off that, and this happened with my generation too. I mean, when I was a kid, it was well, we've got a good generation of people coming up. They're going to fix it. So my generation wasn't allowed to fix anything. In fact, we were only allowed to reciprocate and repeat and magnify the problems by overproducing even more. And we are still having that same mindset, like, Blaise, you have to go to school because you're going to be the one, you or your generation is going to be the one that's going to get us out of this mess. We just keep fucking kicking the same can down the road as the can gets more fucked up, and everything else gets more fucked up. It's a completely fucking asinine way to go about. What is it, the saying that if you continue doing the same thing every day without success, and you continue doing that, that's a fucking mad, insane person.
Yeah.
Yet society just continues that generation after generation. After it collapses, each generation is so much more collapsed than the previous generation, with all the trauma that's been embedded into their history and everything, and it just keeps exponentially getting worse every generation, right?
Yeah. And it's
No,
like
stupid.
there will be like right, we've touched 8 billion now, like in the human population. The more there will be, the more, like, it's all about, like, numbers at the end of the day. The more beings there are, the more are going to be subjected to torture and, all these uncertainties, and more people, more victims, less people, less victims. These are very simple things that they just, I don't understand how these simple things can't get in their head. No, just be fruitful and multiply. Like, my kid is special. I don't have to pay attention to the statistical odds of what the kid can go through and what's the likely outcome. Right now, what's the like if you have a baby, what's the likely outcome? And like, it's nothing basically. So they don't pay attention to it. Just, it's your thing. It's your personal thing. Have a kid. Have your own mini me. And again, ego is everywhere. Like, human ego is one thing that's really hard to get past. It's like this, right? Some people I know who are anti-natalist, who have had kids, right? But they had the integrity to just step over their ego and say, yes, we were wrong, and we were wrong to impose life on a dying planet, and basically where the only certainty is death and suffering. And we recognize that, and yes, we were wrong, and yeah, it should be stopped. So they have this integrity to say this, but they're very few. Most of them are like they don't want to accept their mishaps. Like, they don't want to say, yeah, I was wrong. I'm sorry, child. I was wrong to bring you in this world. Because they're like, no, but then I made a mistake, and I can't make a mistake, right? I'm great.
Yep.
So it's the ego. It's really hard to get past that. Very hard. I mean, for me, it was like when it comes to the ego traps, right? It was very simple to see that, hey, I'm just being a dumb psychology, being, you know, triggered by a psychological reaction, not an emotional reaction, not a rational thing to, you know, rational outcome, not basing my action on some rational decision. So once you just value rationality, it's very easy to get over ego. But I don't know. I just don't understand these humans. It's like they're on a different planet, to be honest. Like they laugh at you. You bring up this stuff, you bring up the likely scenarios in the future of, hey, pretty soon you're going to open your tap waters and there won't be any water. And you people like, oh, you brush your teeth with the water open, and it's like so much privilege, right? And once that is going to be taken away from you, do you know like what's going to happen? Hey, don't talk about it. No, 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 no. They laugh at it or this or that. And you're like, are you people on Earth or are you people on some other planet? They believe in bullshit. Like the other day, I was having a conversation with these assholes at work. They fucking believe in black magic and voodoo and crap. And you're like, how am I going to converse with these people? They're doomed. They've been so much indoctrinated by bullshit that is just like, you gotta say, yeah, some people are just too far gone. They're never coming back.
Yeah, like you said, it's the ego, man. They can't admit that they were wrong, especially as a parent, because we have this, and we're told this as kids too. You respect your elders, and your parents is even like the top of that list. You respect your elders. So, and as young children, we look to our parents as they've been here, they know the ropes, they're gonna give us they're gonna lead us the right ways and all that. No, it's they're fucking living lies upon generations of lies. And of course they can't be wrong in having a kid because they can't admit that they're wrong, and that the planet's gonna go to shit. Even if it was not going to shit at the time, at the rate that it is now, it's still going to shit. And they always say it'll get better later. Somehow, like you said, that they make more kids, make more babies, keep on adding more people to the equation. Math already, like, you have to be a pretty bad mathematician to think that more people is going to be okay, because then somebody in the next generation will be able to figure it out. Like that. Unfortunately, it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, let's solve slavery by hiring more slaves. It just doesn't work. It just doesn't work. Like, you have to, like, once, I think they would have come to this one time in their life, like one time this thing hit their head that, hey, what are we doing here? Just to pause for a second. What am I doing here? Just reflecting back at your own thought processes, at your own experiences, and just saying, why did I actually do all of this? And like, what I do is I delve into that. I'm like, hey, this is the reason, blah blah blah. This is what happened. These are the experiences. This is my motivation to do something. They don't want to do that. They're only gonna do, like, most people are sheep, right? They're only gonna do what others like, what their peers and what the society is gonna indoctrinate them to do, basically. And it's not just about religion in that way, it's also about all this other crap, all the movies that we see which show us the happily ever after of, oh, it's gonna be happily, she got married to him, to the Prince Charming, and it's all happily ever after. No, it's not. It's now it's gonna be, later it's gonna be a cancer diagnosis, and it's gonna turn to shit.
Yeah.
It's like, watch a tree, they look at the tree, say, oh, look, the tree is all fine. But yeah, the tree will exist 5 years later too. So you can't just say, all right, the tree is fine. It's gonna live. Life is an experience. We're experiencing it. And like, it's a whole pile of shit that happens over years. That's the way we live life. It happens over years. It's not like, and it's this is, if one they catch one, it's one of the fallacies, the sharpshooter fallacy. They catch one, like, look, there's a happy moment, and they're like, oh, like, so good, 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 and they
Yep.
neglect all the negatives that happened for
Yep.
that moment, that were
Yeah.
endured.
Like what you're talking about, a young couple getting married, and all that. That spark wears off after, it may take 10, it may take 20, it may take a couple weeks, that spark when that spark dies out, you ain't getting it back. You can try everything you want. You can put on a costume, wear a fucking pinwheel hat, whatever you can try to think of to, put some magic back, and you can't create what's not there, even
Yeah,
no matter how hard you try or try to fake it. It's
yeah,
just
it gets
going to the
boring. It's
same job every day, like, do having a career and be like, I'm going to get a good job with a pension and blah blah blah. No, no, it doesn't happen anymore either. And even if you do, it's insane to think that you're going to be happy going to the same fucking place every goddamn day, doing the same fucking thing for the rest of your life. That's a fucking prison sentence.
Yeah, and it's like, they'll deep down they'll be accepting this, but when they're confronted, I don't know what happens. They're just like, no, 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 we're all happy. Everything is fine. We have, thank God, everything is fine. Even though they're like, everything is fucked, right? In my place, I used to be like, in my family, like a lot of fights going on inside the whole family, joint family and shit. But when they'll meet each other, they'll like, yeah, everything is fine. Yeah, God. And they're smiling. And I'm looking at them and like, no, everything is not fine. But then why are you people pretending? And I just don't understand. I can't get it. It never worked for me. The lies never worked for me. Why lie? Why can't you just say the truth about someone? Yeah, I don't like your uncle. He's a this or he's a that. Like, just say to his face, like, why are you just feeling that in secret? And then when you're confronted by, when you're put in the public spot, right? That's when all the smiles come. I gotta smile now because I'm in the spotlight.
Yeah,
So I'm
yeah.
broken inside, but I gotta smile. You know, people are stupid, stupid.
And I'm so lucky that I didn't have to go to that many, family events, family functions, and half the ones I did wasn't even with family. It was more um, family friends. With my mom and my stepdad, who I spent most of my childhood with, and even a good bit of my adult years with working for their business. And it's just all a fucking lie. And the whole time, I'm there at Thanksgiving dinner, I'm like, man, the food is good, but I'd really rather be somewhere else doing something else. And I can fucking order McDonald's or, eat McDonald's or something like. And I mean, that's shit too, but, just to simplify, it's just not worth a good, feast to do turkey dinner with these fucking morons.
Yeah, and it's all just a pretending party, right? Even when you go to a party, like, it's like the family reunion or some other bullshit like that. Like, nobody wants to be there in the first place, but they have to because of the family. And then it's like, sitting over there, everybody's just being pretentious as fuck. and then they eat and they pretend they've done a family thing, and then they go back and live their lives. And you're like, why all this fakery? Why being like so fake to each other? It just doesn't. And then I realized that it's a like a chain reaction. Oh, he was fake with me, then I gotta play the game too. She was fake with me, I gotta play the game too in my own way. And then it's a whole pile of shit now because one shit, you know,
Yeah.
keeps perpetuating because nobody has the integrity to say, hey, I won't play a fucking fake game. I'll be honest and true to myself and true to others around me. Nobody wants to do that. That's why it just keeps on perpetuating.
Yeah, it's like, making an anti-war comment at, at Thanksgiving dinner. Well, now you've just ruined the dinner and everybody's just pissed off. Like, what's wrong with you? Why do you think that way?
Yeah.
Our government is looking out for your best interest and whatever kind of horse shit they're going to come back with. And God, it's just so fucking, it's fucking debilitating. It wears you down and you feel like you have no fucking voice. Your reality is too real, so that completely wipes out anybody that you can have an intelligent conversation with, even hang out with, and share a smoke or a drink with or whatever. Even trying to go off on the back patio, and nothing is going to change. There's never going to be any intelligence in anyone's conversation, no matter how hard you try. You just have to go through like a robot, just go through the fucking motions of,
Yeah.
hi, how are you today? I enjoy my job. How was your job? Oh, can you get a raise? Have you gotten a raise? Or, keep
Yeah.
trying. I mean, it's just such utter bullshit. Like, we should be able to go, fucking Timmy at my job. I want to kill that motherfucker. That guy is such a fucking asshole. He'll walk up behind you and just punch you in the shoulder or something. He's a fucking asshole. And I want to fucking kill him, but you can't kill him. And then you can't even say that because what's wrong with you? What got up your craw? Like, people are fucking assholes, and they're just allowed to fucking be assholes, and they get rewarded and pay
Yeah.
raises. Just whatever thrown their way for it. Like, it's so fucking disgusting, people.
It's the whole opposite. They're rewarding bad behavior and punishing good behavior. It shouldn't. Fuck. It's like we have one mechanism, like that can be used to control control people in the sense that you reward them when they do something good and punish them when they do something bad. And that's the mechanism that evolution has too, right? For all sentient beings, when they're hungry, they eat, they get this feeling of relief, and that's a reward. And like when they're being chased by some predator, they get hit by the predator, like the predator almost caught them, they get pain, and that's like, oh, that's a punishment. You gotta be careful now. Whenever the lion is around, you gotta keep your eyes up, heads up. So basically this is the mechanism that we run on. So if we punish assholes, yeah, there will be less assholes. It's as simple as that. If you're gonna punish assholes, if you're gonna call them for what they are and like deter their behavior in some way, like at least discourage the behavior by saying it. Like I would say, just shoot. If it were in my power, I just shoot them all. And oh, asshole to. Just there's no point in rehabilitating them. No point in any just trap them. They're selfish, greedy bastards. They know what's going on, yet they choose to be selfish, greedy bastards. So yeah, they don't deserve any rewards. They
Yeah.
deserve to be punished. Like I would say, just game over. One strike. you got it wrong, game over. But the world, like, that's too logical for the world. It's no, but there's some, again, like you said, there's something wrong with you, and you need to go see a psychiatrist. But when I say, hey, you guys are killing the cancer tumor or the virus or some other some insects or animals, no, then there's something wrong with me too, right? So you just can't win with these people. Either you
Right.
agree with them or you've lost. Like, you have to agree with them or no. There's no disagreement with them because they don't like it. They don't like the society has become so fair that the truth actually bothers people. It bothers them. Like, don't talk about it.
Yeah, the system, I think the system, especially generation after generation, they know how easily we can be manipulated. And on top of that, they know how to do it. They get better and better at it every generation. And they know how our mind works. They know how to feed us enough to keep us going and keep us on their side while they divide us and make us even dumber, make us fight each other. No, your religion isn't the right one, mine is, and your skin color isn't the right one, mine is, and all the shit that they do. And people just buy into that because they're shit anyway. It's not hard to convince people to hate each other, even if there's, they'd still find other ways, even if we were all the same skin color, all the same demographic, all the same everything. I mean, look at, imagine a first day at kindergarten, and everybody's from the same area, which they are. Everybody's the same skin color, which they're not anymore, but just pretend like they are. And everybody's from the same financial, pretend everybody's from the same financial. People are still going to be shitty to each other, form cliques, and just make the whole fucking experience pure hell. Especially
It's like
the
these
kids are going
small,
to get away with it.
it's like even these small things, right? When they start growing up in their teenage and stuff, they're like, oh, I like that girl. Like, I've seen this a lot, especially with men. They're fighting over crap, fighting over trivial nonsense of, yeah, that girl is the hottest in the class, so yeah, whoever gets it wins. And they'll find ways to scheme and get first to get on the top and be like, yeah, see, I got the girl. And you're like, oh fuck, what did you get? Like, what did you get? It's like, so there's the value isn't, again, like, I make this point over and over again, the value isn't in the carrot, so to speak. The value is in our perception of it. We chase it because we have a perception in our head that once we get it, we'd feel complete. But the completeness doesn't stay. It just, you're like, I had it. You can't own something here, basically. There's not, there's like, oh, we own this land, we own this. No, you can't own anything. It's just gonna go away from you. And same with all these experiences, the good moments of life. It's like they just happen for a second and they slip right out of your hand, and now you're like, all right, something else. All right, I got this girl, gotta get the other girl now, and it's a pointless chase. And so I just, at that time, I realized, yeah, these men are just stupid, and nobody is teaching them the correct thing, right? Nobody's teaching them that, hey, it's wrong to be like, basically be a trivial retard that is just like, eat shit, think not, eat shit, think not, and that's not good. You have to think about and especially, like, if you get this in the, like, especially when they're children, you get it in their head, hey, think about your decision, don't just behave, think before you behave. And they want you to think like they want to indoctrinate you into their thinking. They don't want to teach you how to think. They want to teach you what to think. And that's
Yep.
that's a whole another problem, because then they just can't get out of that. Like, I was talking to these guys the other day. Like, I'm like, is this the fucking 21st century? Like, is this 2022? You guys are arguing with me about the existence of ghost and black magic and voodoo.
Mhm.
Oh my God, I gotta get you out of these delusions first. Like, they're so far, so far. It's like, oh, in Nigeria, these people do this and they do voodoo, and then you can freeze people. And I'm like, do you have any evidence of it? Like, no, my parents said so, and I see them. It's been going on for years. They're like, hey, think. Do you have any evidence for it? And it's like, do you have any evidence for it not? Like, no, that's not my job. My job isn't to prove it, like disprove your positive. You have to prove your positive first. And you're just saying, I say so. I say
Yeah.
so, Black Magic. And I'm like, okay, I say so, Bugs Bunny sitting next to me. I say so. So it's like, they just don't want it. Whatever programming, their conditioning they've been stuck with, they just don't want to get out of it, because they think if they'll get out of it, they're afraid of something, that they're going to go down a rabbit hole or some other bullshit like that. And I'm like, why not? Like, go full deep. Like, if you go full deep, it's so bad here in this world. It's so bad that the best is to die as soon as you can. It's so bad what's going on right now. The
Mhm.
best is to die as soon as you can. And yeah, that even though it's a dark thing, it's a negative way of thinking, whatever people want to call it, it's the truth. It's what the evidence leads to. It's basically, hey, this is a risky, dangerous game. This is not Wonderland. This is not, yeah, roller coasters, all that. No, this is roller coaster with kids flying here and there and getting their hands broken, and all this other crap, all this risk of suffering. And this was one of the questions, right? Like in Mendham asked, it was a very good question. It was like, how many children have to die on the big Ferris wheel for you to say, turn that shit off, turn that thing off? How many
Yeah.
children? It's like, what will be your number to say, yeah, this Ferris wheel is too dangerous to put kids in it?
Yeah.
And you just link that analogy with real life, and it falls perfectly.
Yep.
It's like,
Yeah. Look at all the people
how
who
many
go to Ferris
children
wheel
have
and
to
get
die?
happy about it.
How many children have to die from cancer before you say, yeah, life is bad? Don't put victims, don't put children in a game where there's a risk of cancer. How many will have to die from it before you say, okay, let's stop? And there's no number for them. There's no, like, it's obvious there's no number for them. They don't even know the numbers. They don't even know the statistics. They don't even know what's going on. And
Yeah.
child is just one thing. It's so just one thing that just should horrify, like, make people, because no child deserves cancer. Nobody deserves, like, I can say, yeah, maybe some asshole like Hitler deserves cancer or something like that, but an innocent child, no, come on. And it happens. It happens. You
Yep.
roll it happens. It's one of the child will get it. You have 4 children, one of them will die from cancer in an early age. And it's like, you're rolling those dice, you're risking them. And again, well, like, how can you be so arrogant to even say that somebody would want to be my child? That's that arrogant. That enough should made me say, hey, fuck that. I don't want, like, no. Nobody will say, yeah, please be my dad. Fuck that. Like, just these simple things alone, just presuming that somebody will say, hey, I love you, dad. Hey, thank you, dad. Well, I'm right now saying, fuck you, dad. What the fuck? Like, can't you get, why don't you use protection or something. It's like, ah. Well, but you got to respect your parents. You got to respect them. They give you life. They give you all this love. All you owe them. Bullshit. I don't owe them shit.
Yeah, they didn't ask. I never got to vote on that.
Yeah.
None of us did. It's so dumb that we just have to, like you said, parents are so selfish that they're automatically gonna, they're gonna want a kid or more than one, and they're, no matter how fucked up they are, I'm gonna be the best parent in the world. Oh, I forgot, left my kid in the car seat, and he cooked. Well, I'll have another kid, and I won't do that again. I'll do better next time. It's like, well, no, we fucking suck, and especially with the, we're so overwhelmed, overworked, and underpaid, and just running around in crazy ass circles nowadays with everything.
Circles. It's basically that. It's like even when I go to work, I feel like I'm just a piece of fucking meat. They're throwing away. All right, go this way now. Go this way, and I'm like just running around like a fucking robot, just being told what to do. I'm like, well, what the fuck? Please kill me, motherfucker! Like, what the fuck am I doing here? And that again, I'm not afraid to say it. This thought comes in my head like at least 20, 30 times a day. Please kill me. Please kill me. Whenever I'm at work or around these assholes in university. Oh fuck, I have to go tomorrow to university. Oh fuck. Just think.
Yeah. God, it's so dumb. I really appreciate you teaching me about Efilism. Life spelled backwards, and I think that's a perfect philosophy. And I was hosting a Zoom meeting earlier today for an extinction group, and I brought that up, and that I think, and I'm curious as your thoughts on this too. So I really think that, so there's 6 stages of grief. If no matter, like, let's say that so far we're not so deep into environmental collapse and financial collapse and personal collapse of societies and humans with with everything. Let's say that we've got more time. But you go to the doctor and you get a bad diagnosis. You have stage 4 cancer, and therefore you only have a little bit of time left before it's going to do you in. So the 6 stages of grief are: denial is the first stage, and then there's anger, and these are all, and you can go back and forth, and one day you might be angry, and then the next day you might go back to denial, or you might even go further back, or you might have days where you go further forward. You go into bargaining where, well, what if maybe you're a smoker? Well, maybe if I stop smoking, maybe that will help the cancer go away or something. You're going to bargain. You're going to try to, what can I do to fix this? And then once you realize this is not fixable, you get depressed. And that's, and then there's a level of acceptance. Once you get past the depression stage, for people that do, not everybody, of course, not everybody makes it through all 6 stages. And then the last is finding meaning. I would say that there's a 7th stage, and the 7th stage is, or maybe even kind of goes along with acceptance. I think that Efilism should be included in one of the stages, if not the very last, at least there with acceptance in the levels of grief, because a a planet with no life on it, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, the moon, Venus, any planet with no life, there is no suffering. There's not a goddamn, that rock isn't suffering. That rock isn't sentient. That piece of dirt isn't sentient. They're not suffering. It can be 1,000,000 degrees. They can be on fire. It's not life. And I mean, for fire to occur, there has to be oxygen. Therefore, there has to be plants. But just, for the sake of the of the argument.
Like the sun. Yeah.
There is no suffering, and that finally is beautiful. Just like you talk about, if you were never born, then you would have never existed, then you would have never suffered. And I think it's crazy that people will say, but then you never got to experience life. Well, fuck, what? How much of it was great versus how much of it was a pain in the ass, sucked? And and that's all subjective too, because you got kids who are born into poverty. You got kids that are born, with birth defects, and they're not whole because of maybe they don't have an arm, or they don't have legs, or their arm or their legs don't work, or they have heart condition, whatever the case may be. And then you're forced to live in a fucking chair from childbirth, just sitting there drooling on yourself. And your mom spends 37 years hoping for a fucking blink of an eye. Like that is fucking, oh, that is just, I can't even fucking believe that that's acceptable in any society.
Yeah. So it's like this, right? Once you see all the whole game of life, of whole game of sentient experiences, you're left with you've got two options now. As an intelligence, you've got two options. Either you allow it to perpetuate, or you end it, right? There's no other option. Now, there's different ways to end it. Some people, if you just stop having kids, it'll end, obviously. Like if everybody is sterilized, every sentient being is sterilized, it will end, right? So, or we perpetuate it. It's like we keep on going. So if we perpetuate it, right, there's always going to be an impose a victim. Even if there's one, I would argue there are a lot of them, like mostly everybody is a victim, but even if there's one victim, I would say it's wrong to impose it on them. There's going to be a lot of victims if it continues to perpetuate, and if it ends, it's going to turn back into Mars or moon or whatever. And again, like, people have to agree with this simple fact that when they say you missed life or you never got to experience it, it's like the absence of the happy Ferris wheel on Mars is not like the existence of the cancer. These two things are not equal. They're different. One is more valuable in terms of prevention. Like, preventing a good isn't the same as preventing a bad. It's just as simple. It's like preventing the prevention of your could have been good life. Again, even like when they say you wouldn't experience life, and they're speaking from one point in their time. Like, they haven't done the whole life thing yet, right? They haven't lived and died, which is the main part everybody runs away from, dying, right? So they haven't done the dying part yet, which I would say nobody wants to do. And if you bring back the dead, like get their testimonies, so to speak, they will say, no, I don't want to do the dying part again. Fuck that. So they haven't done the dying part yet. The real thing, the real game where it all goes to shit, right? Which everybody's going to do. And they're going to impose it on someone. Like, people have kids when they're young, right? They don't have kids when they're old and 80, and they're like, yeah, okay, now I have a good view of life. I have all these experiences. Now I can say, yeah, let me have a kid or not. No, they have it when they're young, when they haven't even played the game yet. So they're saying, oh, I would have missed life. Hey, you haven't done life yet. So be just, be risk averse. Don't speak too soon, so to speak. And so basically you're left with the other conclusion, which is to end it, right? It's recognizing that, like, perhaps I should give you a thought experiment for that. The whole button thing. I really like that experiment. It's like, let's say I give this red button. Let's say I give you this right now. and but the button is like it's a timed one. It'll go away from your hand anytime. And if you press that, like it's lights out. Like lights are on right now. Every sentient being lights out. It's that is your power now. So you have this power now. Let's say there's 1 in 10 chance of a worse dystopia, like zombie land or some, AI bots killing everything, and you everyday pain, all this crap. That happening. 1 in 10 chance of that happening. 1 in 10 chance, I'll be fair. 1 in 10 chance of everything working out fine. But again, the button will go. It's not gonna stay in your hand forever. It's gonna go. It's gonna be gone. It will just turn back into air. And if you don't press it, you will fail to prevent the worst dystopia. And what are you gonna say? You're gonna take the risk now. What are you gonna say to the victims? I'm sorry. I was hoping that it'll all work out. So now it's in your hand. How long will it take for you to press it? That is a very good question. And for me, it's like, oh, it's now. I'll just press it now. Lights out. If I've given the power. And then there's another thought experiment, which is now this button will start life on another planet. The whole evolution process, 4 billion years, ocean life, all the carnage in the wild, all the animals being exploited, all the human beings cheating, doing all this crap. There's the start button for that. Would you press that start button?
Oh, man. That's a good point, because most people probably would. They'd be like, oh, I can populate Mars? Yeah, let's do that. Like, no, man, that is like you said, now you're creating more suffering. And everything there is going to suffer for 450 billion years until it creates Homo sapiens or something similar that's going to dig up all the fossil fuels into the ground and create all these bullshit jobs and monarchies and hierarchies and shit and do it all over again. It's, oh man, that's awful. It's fucking awful.
So in both these cases, right, I will find somebody who will say that, yeah, let's not, like, even if they're for, yeah, don't end it, they'll at least sometimes, some people will acknowledge, yeah, pressing the start button is pointless. Yeah, what's the point of it? What's the necessity of it? What will it accomplish apart from creating victims, right? That's all what the consistent fact is. What does life do? Life creates victims. That's consistent with the reality, what we can observe. Go to the hospitals, do all the stats. Life creates victims. So if it's going to go on for 10 more years, there's going to be more victims. If it ceases to exist, the next 10 years victims will be prevented. So, yes. And prevention is being spared. Basically, the key thing is sparing the future from all this bullshit. If you press the button, the future is spared from all the bullshit. And it's like, I'll take you back in time, and 250 million years or 100 million years ago. And even then, if somebody gives you the button, you're like, yeah, just press it, because 100 million years of suffering would have been prevented if you didn't press it. So once you put the thought experiment in the way that you have the power now, you are God, so to speak, metaphorically, you can recognize the equations now. You can see, you have the button and you're listening to all the victims looking at you and saying to you, please prevent our suffering. Please end and prevent our suffering. And there are some other assholes who are dancing and partying and having sex and all that. And you're you're doing the calculations. Is this more valuable or is that more valuable? What should be more valued? And I say the victims are more valuable and they should be prevented. Lights up.
Yeah, man. I mean, the logic. I don't have an argument for the logic, and I don't see how anyone else can either. But
Yeah.
I'm sure that you get a lot of flack and a lot of argument, and it's all nonsense. You know,
It's all
there's
nonsense.
no,
Emotion.
there's no, yeah, yep, emotions,
And I
and
can understand, okay, you're a ape, you're an animal who has emotions and feelings and attachments. Yeah, I understand that. But still, what is more valuable? Ask yourself this question. What is more valuable? Is the victim's suffering more valuable, or is your attachment to some part of the game? And that's one of the things with the red button, right? You press it, you are dead as well. It's not like you will be alive, you're dead as well.
yep,
So you have to get over your own things too, your own emotions, your own, and basically just recognize at the end of the day, it's all about preventing the torture. If you can do that, that's the biggest Superman win. You know, you'll go down in history as the biggest superhero who nobody ever knew, right? If you press the button.
right, yep, yep. That's the thing is, after we're gone, there will be no history anyway. So that's going to take care of itself, even though most people don't know that, or even or would even accept it if they were given the information, because most people don't. I mean, there's so many people in the doomer world that still think that there's going to be pockets of the planet that are still habitable, which makes no fucking sense because the planet is one. If you can't live here because it's 400 degrees, it's still not going to be 80 degrees over there, you know. And people can't wrap their head around that, and they're going to be like, no, if you're at the poles, they're going to stay cooler longer, despite the fact that they're heating up 3 or 4 times faster than the rest of the planet already. So again, it's so insane that people just can't, even if they're accepting somewhat of human extinction, they can't wrap their head around the whole thing. They can't wrap their head around a completely lifeless planet forever because of the.
Yeah, and it's one thing that they like, one other fact that people should recognize, like, hey, life will go, this planet will be lifeless anyways, no matter, and this way life will never end. No, it will. Like, I get this argument a lot, like, no, you can't end life because, yeah, it will arise again. I'm like, first of all, how do you even know that? Second, what's the probabilities of it? We won an insane lottery. What are the chances of it happening, first of all? And second, it's like, it's going to end anyways. Humans are going to go extinct. All species are going to go extinct. The earth is going to fall in the sun. It's all going to end. It's all of it is going to end. Nothing left behind. Nothing, like literally nothing. So why are you afraid of it in the first place when it's going to happen anyways? You should embrace the fate. Like, it's like when I talk about pro-modernism with people, I'm talking like these people who understand the fate of being, right? Like death and taxes. Like, these two things are gonna happen. They're both gonna happen. You can't evade death and you can't evade taxes. These things are like, they're gonna come and get you in some way or another. So basically, once you recognize the fate of life on Earth, which is extinction, inevitable extinction, and the fact that you can't evade through that is, the longer it takes, if it happens 10 years later, then there's going to be 10 years of more suffering. If it happens sooner, that kind of shit. So that's just maths at the end of the day. And yeah, people will be like, oh, you're ending life. This is one of the pro-life notions that everybody puts in us. The society puts the movies. The villains are the one who want to end life, right? They're the villains, so to speak. So that's how we've been programmed.
Yep.
once we put all of those programmings out, every emotional desire out, and just look at the logic for what it is, yeah, this is the conclusion, in my opinion, because I can't, like, what else is there? Well, either it's perpetuation of life or it's cessation. There are no other options. There's no, if you perpetuate it, you're like, yeah, maybe we'll make it better. You're at the risk of suffering. If you end it, there's no risk. No risk, no loss. No risk, no loss. You can't lose if you don't play the game in the first place.
Yeah.
You won't lose if you don't play the game in the first place. It's that simple as that. But they don't want to do the simple thing. They want to make it complex. Oh, but life will arise again, and even though the planet will heat up, there will be some other form of life through evolution. And first of all, like then it's going to be such a rapid change that, like, no speech. And again, these simple facts: sentient beings require habitat to survive. If there's no habitat, there won't be any sentient beings. It's that simple. But no, they want to do magic. They want to do, like, be something coming, another DNA molecule will happen. And it's like, we just have one DNA, evidence of one DNA molecule. The past 4 billion years, there hasn't been another life form, so to speak, another DNA molecule. Everything is connected to this one. So I don't think it's gonna happen again. Especially like on this planet, what the conditions are gonna become. And even if it happens, or like I'm not willing to grant that. Let's say even if it happens, the win is still there. The earth is going to slam in the sun eventually, and everything will be ended, and this whole universe will just, the universe is just forces. We're so insignificant in terms of the universe. So basically it's about stepping over your ego too. You're being having humility to understand and recognize the truth that, yeah, we're fucked, and the best is to die as soon. And that's the promotolist conclusion. And I even that I can't find any comfortable. Like, why do I need to live more? Like, it's just no argument to that. All just bullshit wants, like no rational reason to, like, hey, if human beings are alive, then it helps the earth spin or something. There's no necessity for us.
Right. Yeah. We're like Bill Hicks says, we're a cancer with shoes.
Yeah, there's a liability. There's no necessity for us as existing. But if we exist, there's always going to be a liability, always, of causing harm. And that's what we're best at, causing harm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're good at drumming up things for our ego to justify every stupid act that we do. We impose on the planet and other animals and other people. It's insane.
It mixes up the whole consciousness thing. It just mixes up in this planet, and it comes out to a whole pile of shit that you're like, fuck this. It's stinky. It's really bad. Really, really bad. It's not like a little bit bad. It's very, very, very bad. Life on Earth is very bad. And it should be stated as it is. It shouldn't be rainbowed. Like, oh, life is rainbows. Yeah, rainbows are good. Even occasionally, sometimes I watch it too, and smoking with it. And yeah, it's like, it's this moment. The suffering lasts forever. Like people trauma from their suffering. It just, those images don't go away, and people are in mental asylum for that.
Yeah.
The suffering lasts. The pleasures are basically subjective. All of them, are basically subjective. So they're not actually real. They depend on the person to person. But yeah, nobody wants to be choked. The suffering is real. Nobody wants to be, hey, choke me for till I'm dead. You know, nobody wants to be choked to death, so to speak. They're like, yeah, if you're gonna kill me, at least if there's no other option, then at least give me a peaceful way to go out. And again, that brings to the main point there. There's no other option here than to, yeah, basically waiting for your death. Yeah, just give me the peaceful way out then. But no,
Yeah.
that's a slippery slope. No, oh, you want to kill your life? Suicide is bad. And then there's the whole another subject, and it's like so many different, you know, things in between. Like before you have a conversation on the subject, there's so many different things that this shit that their brain basically shit is covered with shit. You know, you have to remove the shit to, like, you know, yeah, like forget, don't focus on the messenger, don't focus on me that I'm depressed or something, focus on the argument. You know, don't be biased in your judgment. Think outside the box. All this stuff has to be removed. Then you can have a conversation with someone about reality, or about suicide, or about extinction, or about climate change. Until you can't get the simple things out of, you know, like this simple fact of that, it's so, even like with smart people, it's so apparent. It's like, what's your credentials? You know, well, you're just depressed. You're talking about suicide because you're depressed. You know, that kind of bullshit. And
Yeah.
I got this, like, one guy was trying to debate me on YouTube and stuff, and I was like, yeah, if you want to debate, make a response video. Why do I need to get into a debate with you? And first of all, why would I get into a debate with someone whose argument is you're depressed? What the fuck is that? And am I gonna pay attention to you, cunt? If your whole argument is you're depressed, that's a
Yeah.
bullshit.
Yeah. That's just casting blame, throwing the blame off on, and that's not even that. It doesn't have anything to do with the situation and the problem.
It's respectful
It's
to
casting.
dude as
Yeah.
well. It's what the
Yeah.
fuck, dude? Why
It
are you?
is. That's a very narcissistic tactic, and most people who have went through, you know, college education to get their, you know, their medical degree to be a psychiatrist, uh, they were indoctrinated and taught by the very same system that promotes all that shit. So they're just going to, like, just like you say, so you're depressed and you're a problem. We've got to treat your depression. Um, there, nobody in the right fucking mind would be alive today and not be depressed with
Exactly.
the way life is. And that's not even just by today's standards, just even just dealing with all the bullshit of trying to get a job or collect enough nuts and stay warm enough in the winter and stay cool enough in the summer. And while you're doing all that, don't get eaten by a bear or a, you know, or or whatever. No, man, it's, you know, you're gonna go to the water's edge and get a drink, and there's gonna be an alligator or a crocodile hungry, waiting right there for you know to pounce and get a meal because you were thirsty, and there's no other place to go get water, you know, in the natural world other than where the animals are that live in the
Yeah.
water that are there to eat stuff like us.
Yeah, they need water too.
Yeah.
And like, if everybody's gonna need water and the resource water is scarce, so yeah, there's a problem there. There's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. You got to risk your life to do everything, you know, especially in the natural world, but even you know, unless you're super privileged nowadays, you still have to risk your life by, you know, driving down on the highway to get to work, and even just go look for work. And it's just a pain in the fucking
Yeah.
ass 24/7, except for when you sleep. When you sleep, you're not, you know, most part you're not
That's
about
scary.
that. For the most part, you're comfortable. It's like, you know, and then, you know, when you wake up, if you're the kind of person like us that sees through the bullshit, when you wake up, you're pissed off again because God damn it, I was doing just fine when I was asleep.
Just
Now I'm not asleep anymore. Now I gotta fucking get up and, you know, and do all this shit all over again and somehow not kill people and lose my sanity. Like, that's really fucking hard to do.
Yeah, and it's like the people say to me in response that just take it one day at a time, just go through one, and it's like you could be dead to like this is one of the things I saw on Duck's like one of Duck Stanhope's sketch. Like they say, yeah, live like there's no tomorrow, right? But when they don't tell you what to do when there is a tomorrow, okay, you gotta do and this and that. It's like they're selling you crap everywhere. Yeah, just have fun. Just be excited. Aren't you excited? Aren't you thrilled by this? And I'm like, holy shit, I'm in an insane asylum.
Yeah. Yep. Just think about
These
the weekend. When's your birthday coming up? What are you gonna do for your birthday? It's like, who cares? It doesn't fucking, you know, just like you said, a little bit of a pleasure is never worth all of the fucking negativity that it took to get to that pleasurable moment, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like a very famous roller coaster ride. You're like, oh, it's gonna be so thrilling. Yeah, but you gotta wait 40 minutes in the line.
Yeah.
Is it really worth it? It's like a question, like, you know, that's experience of 30 seconds versus 40 minutes waiting in the line with a bunch of assholes. Nah, it's not worth me. Fuck that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, now add, you know, fucking viruses and you know, people who are just have become so nasty. And you're gonna go hang around in a fucking cattle trough with all those people for, you know, for 40 minutes or 2 hours to ride a, you know, a 2-minute roller coaster.
Yeah,
That's just, and all the money that you spent to get into the fucking shithole place anyway.
exactly.
You know, it's insane.
They're only, again, a lot of people knew about that roller coaster because everybody, like sheep, right? Everybody else was talking. Oh, have you heard about that? Have you heard about it? Let's go there. Let's go. And then you have a whole a huge line at the ticket counter. So it's like most of them, like with all the mainstream, right? Everything that is all the mainstream movies, everything, like, you know, it's human beings are sheep. Most of them I've seen are just sheep. Like if there's going to be a huge population going towards one area, they're going to go there too. Yeah, I want to watch this. Oh, let's do this. Why? Because everybody else is doing it. Okay, so why is that a good reason to do that thing? Because everybody, they just say it again, because everybody else is doing it. Hey, don't be a fucking killjoy. Don't be a, like, it's like, oh my god, just a little questions, just 1-2 questions you ask them, and they just fucking lose it. They're just like, nah, you're just too negative to be around. You have negative energy. There's another word they use, that it's in the mainstream, this energy thing, that he's spreading negative energy from, like, how do you even do that? Do you have some demonstrable scientific way where the energy goes from me and goes into you?
Yeah.
Fuck. They believe in astrology. Oh my god, people believe in so much dumb shit.
Yeah, man.
Just
Yep. I had a little astrology altercation, I think just yesterday, you know. You know, yeah, I'm Debbie Downer because I said, you know, astrology isn't real. Like, why do people even go, you know, they'll take something that's in it, you know, I like oxygen. Oh man, it's so good that I'm definitely a Virgo because I do like oxygen. Like, oh, you know what? There's probably maybe somebody out there that's a Virgo Well, I mean, they have to have oxygen. That's a gimme. But you take something else that, like, like if I'm a Virgo, if Virgo was like you're really handy with your hands and good with tools, like, I'd be, well, that's fucking totally wrong. But a lot of other people that were born in that same month or whatever, are good mechanics, and they'd be like, "Yep,
Yeah.
I'm a Virgo, man. That dude's a good Virgo, man. He's the. I mean, who puts that on their resume? Yeah, hire me to be your head mechanic because I'm a Virgo. Like, it doesn't make any sense, right?
It's like these all these claims of we can see the future or we can talk to the dead. And there was this guy, like I really like this guy, James Randi. I think, I don't know, maybe you've heard of him or not. He was a magician, like basically, like an artist. Basically, he used to say, I'm just bullshitting all you guys. And he basically had in his foundation, the James Randi Foundation, he had a $1 million prize for people to come and prove their paranormal or whatever magic they own, to prove their magic in a scientific, testable, detectable environment. And he's going to give you $1 million. And nobody came, like even like you would think there would be a huge line because people would be like, yeah, I want to prove my black magic bullshit and I want to get $1 million with it too. No, there wasn't anything like that because they're full of shit. And like some people did come, and like I've got the some of these episodes are good. I'll share them with you. He exposes them really bad, like all this homeopathy, all this other bullshit crap, you know, or hope or prayers, right? Pray for, and this is very common in Pakistan. It's like, pray for this and you'll be rich. Keep reading this chapter in the Quran and you'll be rich, or you'll get married, or you'll have a kid, or some other bullshit like before you go to sleep, read this dua so that you wake up. It's like all this indoctrination. It's hard, and I understand when I ask people, especially like I feel sorry for people when they say, yeah, I get it, man, but I'm afraid of going to hell, so I'm just gonna believe it. And they've exploited their fear of going to hell, of I'm gonna suffer in hell and be tortured in fire. They've ingrained that shit in their heads when they were kids, and now they just can't let go of it. Even when they're agreeing with me, sort of like, yeah, the whole God idea is stupid bullshit. But I don't know. I think I like, maybe if it's true, then I'll go to hell if I don't believe in him, and I don't want to go to hell because I've been scared. And you're like, come on, grow up. And at the same time, you feel sorry because you're like, fuck these fucking religious parents, bastards. Just they're like, yeah, you should be. I just hate it when they're like, yeah, respect your parents. That is one statement I need to get out of this world of respect for parents. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I don't care if they've done so much good for you or whatever. The fact of the matter is you are going to die. And the only reason you're going to die is because you are alive. And the only reason you are alive is because a fucking male came inside a female and for selfishly, and like the female didn't get an abortion or was forced or whatever. That's it. That's the only reason why you're gonna die. So I don't care if their intentions were good or whatever. It's this whole act of parenthood, this whole notion of parenthood should be disrespected. Shouldn't be like, yeah, respect your parents, respect them for giving you life and all the good with it. No, 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 no. Give them the truth. No, they killed. Your parents murdered you. You've been murdered by your mom and dad. And even if you don't like this fact, the fact you don't like hearing this fact, it doesn't change the fucking fact. It is a fact. Your parents killed you. Period.
Yeah.
No,
I mean,
don't talk about my mom. Don't talk about my dad like this. And it's like, oh my God, they're so myopic. They just take it personally. Oh, fuck.
yeah. And my parents put me in the fucking hospital at the age of 3. You know, like I for anybody that says I have to, I owe I have to love my parents or respect my parents or something like that. They were fucking kids having kids. They were stupid kids
Yeah.
shitting out another stupid kid, and they beat the fuck out of that kid and made it eat its own vomit and all kind of dumb, psychotic, nasty shit. And then yeah, but you have to respect your elders and appreciate the life that your parents gave you the opportunity of life. Like, what kind of a fucking opportunity is that? And then how much real of a life are you gonna have when you have not only not a head start in life, but you're actually held back because your parents, in my case, my parents were fucking morons. It's totally there's like literally no reasoning behind that logic.
It's like, well, like, yeah, you can respect. Again, respect should be earned. It shouldn't be automatic. It should
Yeah,
be, and most parents don't earn it. I would say
right.
all earn it, but yeah, let's say most, whatever. It's like they're like, if they're gonna be honest, they're gonna have the integrity and admit when they're wrong. Like, it's not like when the first time I talked to my parents about anti-natalism, I didn't say like, hey, you did all of. I mean, I should have at that time. Like, they're assholes, but I didn't say to them, hey, you did I went through all of this suffering for no reason because you had a kid, because you didn't wear protection and stuff. I just give them the simple argument that, hey, you were unable to take consent from the being who you were experimenting with, basically, for selfish reasons, like you want a kid. So why did you do that? And is it a good thing to experiment with somebody else's welfare without their consent? Very simple. But no, they're like, this was the day we gave birth to you, so you will say to us, why to watch this day, to watch our child say to us, why did you give birth to me? And again, they took it completely personally, right? And I'm
Yeah,
like, oh my God, there's no point in talking to them about it. There's like, they
yeah,
can't even accept me being vegan, right? They just won't even accept that. They're like, no, you still got to. My dad is a doctor, right? Again, this is one of the things when I say that most doctors, and they're indoctrinated by there's they're all the things that they're learning is basically biased around the meat and dairy industry, because yeah, even science can be uh, manipulated, can be
yeah. The
and play
money
with.
is what
Yeah.
tells. Follow the
Yep.
money.
Exactly. For the body.
Um,
So, like, even most
people.
doctors, you bring up veganism with them, we're like, we vegan? What is vegan? You just eat meat once a week, or vegetarian or fish sometimes. And they're like, dude, you guys don't even know. You guys aren't even aware of this simple facts like the blue zone diets, which is basically people who lived the longest and the healthiest were those who were living on a 95% plant-based diet. You see the facts, and they aren't even aware about it because they've been taught. And it's like this, right? In the heart, cardiovascular department, the canteen is serving bacon and eggs. You're like, oh fuck, now I get it. They're indoctrinated as fuck too.
Yeah, yeah.
They're
It's
selling
really sad.
they're making money of your suffering. That's what they've
Yeah,
been taught, to make money out of suffering. Again, that's why they keep euthanasia illegal, right? Because yeah, then they won't be able to make money by giving you more pills and perpetuating your suffering. So they've been, again, it's a very evil thing being taught to make money out of suffering. And even like getting, like, for me it was really hard to just, like, I've done some, these fuckers, they made us do these biological, in my biology classes in college, they made us do these experiments on cockroaches and frogs. And
yeah.
it was just, it gross to me. I was like cutting a body, just like that. But these doctors, they don't have a problem with cutting somebody's leg and something, right? So again, these people are basically programmed in that way to look over their, the suffering that they're watching. Like for me, it's hard to even watch a person suffering in pain. But they're like, no, we got to do the job. We got to, cut the leg off, so the cancer doesn't spread from the leg to the, or whatever you can make. So yeah, they're like that. They've been programmed that way, and on top of it, their whole business runs on it. The whole medical industrial complex, like diabetes there's billions of dollars being made by diabetic people. Just a fact. Like billions of dollars. They don't it's not in their interest to end diabetes. They won't give you a cure. They'll put patches on you, so next time you can come again, so that they'll make more money.
Insulin just keeps going up, and people, it's getting to where people can't even afford it, and that kind of shit, for what we pay in taxes, all that shit should be free, anyway, to mitigate people's suffering. And it just keeps going up, and it just keeps getting more and more corrupt, and always the 1% make all the money, and we pay more for it, and lose more in the end as well.
Like the pharmaceutical industry has made so much. It's not in their interest to make cures. It's in their interest to make bandages.
Yeah.
Because that's where the money keeps on coming. The cure is like, you give them the cure that, hey, you should focus on your nutrition and, don't eat high fat, because don't eat saturated fat in animals, and, which are found in animal and dairy products. No, they won't give you that, right? They'll give you some, no, yeah, keep doing your bad habits. Just take this pill. Just take this blood. My dad and my mom, they've been on blood pressure pills for the past 15-20 years, and they won't their diet, right? Because they don't. And if I tell them that, hey, if you fix your diet, you're not going to need this anymore, because you'll be solving the problem rather than putting band-aids on.
Band-aid. Yep.
And you're just feeding them. You're just giving them money. It's so easy for them. Like this is one of the things, right? They exploit on people's, like certainty, like assurance that, yeah, if I take this, if I go do this procedure, will I be okay? Yeah, we recommend this procedure more if you go with that one. Yeah, give us this much money, and yeah. So it's like, yeah, just get money, just get money. And yeah, if the patient is healed, good, it's fine. But if the patient is not healed, then yeah, you still get to keep the money and just say, oh, sorry, we did our best. It's like, so what? We still lost the money. Yeah. It's like, well, it would be better if they would have gone peacefully rather than we spending on this so much money on this procedure, which you said that it will work, right? So it's all just chicanery. It's all just, everybody's selling you something. Everybody's trying to sell you something. And you got to be very, like, your bullshit radar has to be on all the time. Hey, he's trying to bullshit me. It's like, but they all are trying to bullshit you in some way or another.
Yeah.
That's how the game is. It's cutthroat out here. Cutthroat. Especially now, it's fucking cutthroat. Even with jobs and stuff, even with these low-paying jobs, over here, like I can speak for here in Hungary, it's cutthroat. They're like, yeah, just give us whatever, give us whatever, give us whatever. Yeah, we'll work for this much, we'll work for this much. Yeah, I'll get a raise. I do this extra work, I'll get a raise. I show the other my colleagues to be, oh yeah, you go take extra smoke breaks, no problem. And then you don't get extra shifts because somebody told the supervisor you've been taking too many smoke breaks, right? So
Mm,
it's
yeah.
such a timing game everybody is
Yeah.
playing. You have to be very careful here. And I'm just like, fuck it. Just what's even the point of doing
Yeah. I'm sick of
bullshit?
that shit too, man. I literally can't work anymore because I've been down so much of that road and I have nothing left in the tank. So I literally can't go to get a job anywhere because of all that bullshit. I'm gonna 5 minutes in, even if I got hired 5 minutes in, I would just snap and go, "You people are fucking morons. I'm one fucking person. Let me, give me a minute to figure it out. In the meantime, I'm falling behind. I'm not doing my work fast enough because you got to do the work of three people nowadays. Even your first day on the job, you're expected to do the work of three people while you're still trying to figure out where the fucking on and off button is on the cash register or whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's just, God, it's so stupid and it's so fucking meaningless and pointless. And after about 50 years of it, you can't take after. I mean, realistically, when you're younger, you can probably take some more, but now, you're at 25, you're starting out, not really starting out, you've already started, but still you're in that younger phase, that you might have a little bit more in the tank. You might be, not quite so fed up with everything. You can try to get through the day easier, but either way, it's gonna come a point in time to where you don't have any more left in the tank. You're just gonna be so fucking beyond burnt out that you just want to take a pickaxe to the next person that treats you like an asshole.
Yeah. And even when if like I can say that I have some, like, oh, I can deal with it, I can go through it, but it's like I have some power in the tank. I'm like, yeah, if I give up, I'm just relinquishing on my power. It's not like I lost something. There's no I anymore. So again, that thought just, it's like, again, I embrace my death because I know that's where I'm going. I've embraced it. And the only question is, why prolong it? And for me, it's one day it's like, yeah, I can do this or I can do that. But basically, it's just like, yeah, getting the peaceful method and just checking out. Because, like, yeah, the younger you go out, the better, in my opinion. And yeah, like if somebody young is watching this, yeah, it's better if you go out young. It's like you won't miss out on anything. They're all selling you bullshit. You won't miss out on anything. It's,
Yeah,
don't be fooled by pro-life. Don't be fooled by it. It's
yeah,
bullshit. So it's like, yeah, just the best fuck you is basically. And again, you can't even talk about this. Like our last conversation was taken down. It's like, it's just like, what can you do as an individual here when all these assholes are, if you start to even talk about the truth, somebody's not going to like it, and yeah, your stuff will be taken down. So it's like, what the fuck can you do here?
yeah,
Like, and
yeah. You're right.
it's important to talk about methods. It's very important to talk about the methods of your personal extinction and
Yeah,
the whole extinction of life too. Like, either it's gonna happen naturally or man-made. It's important to have a discussion about it. And if we can't even have a discussion about it and just say, hey, this stuff is related to suicide, and just give a scare in the start.
Yeah.
Don't get, we're not encouraging suicide here, just educational purposes. And it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck? You have to put all these barriers, and when somebody
Yeah.
just a little too more, then you're gonna take it out and put it down because of medical misinformation or some other bullshit. And it's just
Yeah.
so like it pisses me off. It pisses me off that these assholes are in control of
Yeah.
even my own words, so to speak. I can't say these words in this way, otherwise I'll be taken down. It's like, what the fuck? There should be a public place where we can all just go and, curse each other if we want. Hey, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You know, it's free speech. If it's gonna be free, yeah, it should be free for good.
Yeah.
There should be some censorship or other crap like that. And again, these we first have to get rid of all of this crap, censorship, free speech, basic human rights. Then you can talk about these big subjects like Efilism and antinatalism and promodalism. It's like promodalism is just people just switch off as soon as I even mention that word, because it's just too hard for them to handle. And some people I've talked to, they actually said to me, yeah, I get it, but it's this type of thinking is just too hard for me to handle. So it's like all these small things in between. The truth is very simple, but these little caveats that you have to go through in conversation with other sentient humans here, these little caveats are they get in the way.
Yeah.
Censorship, all this crap. It's a lot. You have to be careful what you say. We're being controlled by basically like it's a these are terrorists in my opinion. Like
Oh yeah.
these people are
Yeah.
controlling the whole all the media, what goes on in the mainstream. It's very bad. It's being controlled by these rich bastards. It's not like society has come together and said, yeah, this is what should be banned. And no, it's these rich elites decide what's going to be on and what's going to be popular.
Right.
Especially the popular
No.
one. They want control of the popular memes. The popular memes are in their control because that's what runs the whole society. What the popular memes are being spread. Cat videos or I don't know, like that's what they want to have more views than this.
Right in somebody's day. So.
Create algorithms which will work against us. It's insidious.
No, man. No. We've been going for almost an hour and 45 minutes. Before we wrap it up, Blaise, I wanted to say thank you and talk about you had a great interview with our friends over at The Right to No Longer Exist. So I want to give them a shout out to check out your interview with those guys that was just came out just a couple of days ago, or maybe not even a week ago, I don't think. So
Yeah.
check that out. And you have your own YouTube channel as well, Efil Blaise.
Yeah.
And so that's easy to find. Just type in Efil Blaise into the YouTube search engine. You're on Facebook as Blaise AK, Blaise space AK. And anything else where people can find you, and anything else you want to add or get into before we sign off?
No, that's pretty much it. It's
cool, man. Thank you again. You're always you're a breath of fresh air, a load of information, and it's always so genuine to talk to you. It's just I mean, I can't say it any more than just a always a breath of fresh air. So thank you. And we'll do this
I like
again soon. I hope. That-
being around sane people. I always say that it's very hard to find someone who you can talk to you genuinely. Where you don't have to disguise your words or veil them in something. You just say what's going on, and like not stupid stuff, but reality. But nobody
Right.
wants to talk about reality, so that's why we have collapsing with Casey and Efil plays, and
Yeah. Yeah.
there needs to be
Yeah.
somebody to talk. So yeah,
Well, thank you, man. I appreciate it. And um, I hope to see everybody on Friday. I'm going to do a live stream this Friday. It will hopefully not get pulled. So we'll see. Hopefully this interview doesn't get pulled. Check the archives. The actual last interview that didn't get pulled is with Blaise, so you can check that out too. And thanks everybody for joining, and hope to see everybody Friday for the live stream. And or if you don't catch it, catch the re-air all the time on YouTube. And hey, man, thanks so much. Thanks everybody.